there is a science to happiness, and you could think of that as the whole yoga science, but there's two really main functions of everything in yoga, and I believe it's also at the roots of all great spiritual traditions. It sounds a little odd or abstract, but there's two things. It's like two directions. One is that all the teachings and all the techniques, they're to help us relax, they're to help us to quiet down, they're to help us to learn how to listen and learn how to feel and experience our own nature, our own consciousness. But we're still lost until we understand that there's a directional nature to it. And so for peace is just like a passive thing. It's like removing all the distractions. And so there's some peace there. You could almost equate that to like laying in bed and just kind of turning your mind off and trying to pass out. But that's not real peace, but it's a step in that direction. But there's a much higher level of consciousness related to joy, and it's not something that we adopt. It's never something that's conditional. It's not something that comes from outside. It has nothing to do with what we believe or what we think, really, but it has to do with our level of consciousness. And so it's kind of odd, but like I don't want to get all into it, but it's like we have an energetic system inside our body that it kind of corresponds with the physical backbone, but it's the astral spine, the chakras and all that. And it's kind of like, it's like this, you could think of the chakras having, the different colors, something like a rainbow. The hotter, more vibrant, orange, red, yellow colors are down near the bottom of the spine, and then the brighter, or the, let's say, higher vibration, like blue and violet, are up near the top of the spine. And it's kind of like that. And so as our consciousness, so like you think of a dog has a tail. We don't have tails. When dog's all happy, it's going like that, and his butt's all going all over the place. What Yogananda said is that it's because he's vibrating down at the base of his spine. Okay? And, it's like, either think of different kinds of cultural dances that human beings do, and it's like, some are like all down in the hips, and so it may be a more sensual, even sexual that kind of a dance kind of a thing, and so the vibrations in the lower spine, and then maybe in other traditions or cultures or social groups or whatever, there's other kind of music and dancing that's up in the higher chakras, right? And it's a little bit different. It's a different feeling. It's not so sensual, but it's uplifting. Okay. And then you look at, like I've said in here many times before, you look at a child, like a young child, one that hasn't learned to mask his feelings yet. And when he's happy and enthusiastic, he has an erect spine. And he even wants to jump, right? And then if he's got something really weighing down on him and he's unhappy, he slouches. Like he'd be all folded up in the couch like this, and like mom would be like, "What's wrong?" You can see it from the outside, but what you're seeing in this and this is the movement of energy inside the body. And so if we can, so let's say we believe that, maybe some of those examples make sense, then you can think of meditation and yoga and also just the attitudes and the thoughts that we embrace as a way to calm down, feel what is happening inside of us, and then lift it up. You can actually have, I've had this experience. So when we're doing higher meditation techniques, when people are ready and when they're tuned into it, you can actually feel these vibrations of energy inside your body. And you might be like, let's say me. Let's say I'm having an issue and something's upsetting me. I'm really unhappy. I'm not fulfilled at that moment. I'm grumpy or whatever. And because I'm a meditator and I meditate regularly, I can close my eyes and I can feel that right here. And because I'm using yoga techniques to work with that energy, to understand that energy and move it, I can put my mind on it. I can still feel that I'm right and I'm valid in whatever is upsetting me, whatever I heard that's making me mad, right? Whatever it is that I can't accept. And then I can feel the energy of that lack of acceptance, that desire for things to be different than they are, which is just a losing battle. But I can't, even though I feel it and I know it's there, I can't talk my mind out of it at that point because I'm vibrating at a low level. But I can use breathing and meditation techniques to draw that energy up and put it right at the front of my brain. And when I do, my understanding of the problem changes. And it's no different, it's absolutely no different than being like an inner city kid in Los Angeles in a bad scene, in a bad neighborhood, in a bad family, and with no support, and almost like a hopeless life. And being a person that lives like in maybe South LA or something, that's never even seen outside the boundaries of their little barrio where they live. And then, someone, I don't know, maybe a friend or a volunteer from an organization, or maybe someone from the local church or something, comes and scoops those kids up and takes them out to the mountains for the first time. You're still in LA, and you're going up Angeles Crest Highway, and pretty soon you can't even see where you lived, but you can see the buildings, you can see the town, right? Your perspective as you go up in the mountains changes completely. And the little place where you live, kind of like that little sweaty hell that you grew up in, let's say, is a very small part of what is available to you because you've changed your point of view. And so yoga is a science, if we understand it, if we choose to practice it this way. Yoga is a science. Everything that we practice is designed to help us calm down so that we can experience ourselves more directly in consciousness and energy, and then bring that energy up to the higher part of our, let's say, physical and spiritual anatomy so that we can understand. It's the same thing like if you have a really big test to do, like you're doing a college exam or something like that. You would not want to eat a big carb-loaded Chipotle burrito right before you take the exam. Why? Because it's hard to think. You go into a food coma because all your energy is trying to digest the darn thing, and there's no energy left to think. So the science of yoga is just understanding these basic life things and meditation, learning how and when to move that energy up and how to hold it up there. Because what happens is, it's like at the very base of the spine, our lower energies can be about rigidity versus flexibility, control of others versus the desire to control ourselves. In other words, it's sort of like a good fight or a bad fight. It's like a worthy battle or a not worthy battle. There's no point in trying to control other people, but we can control ourselves, right? And then as you move upward through the spine, there's another direction. So one direction is upward, but then when you get up to the heart needs to be expanded, or the consciousness needs to be expanded also for us to be happy. In other words, we don't want to be alone. That's why we want connection. That's why we want family. That's why we need friends, because it's just in our nature to be with other people, to connect with other people, but it's not about the people. You can't put all of your eggs in the basket of that one relationship or that group of friends or your particular church or your particular social group. It'll never work out that way. I mean, it won't work forever because there's always going to be limitations. But the key is understanding that not only do we need to bring our energy up, but we also have to offer it out in expansion. And so by think of, again, a child living in a very difficult situation with very little choices, where life feels almost like it's just about survival. It's literally about survival, and it's about competition with others who are also trying to survive, right? But that's just not a happy place. That's surviving. But what that kid also wants, it's inherent in human nature. Every one of us wants to be part of something bigger. And for one person, it's joining the Christian church or one of these churches, and another person, it's joining a gang. And in a lot of ways, there's almost no difference. It depends on how you do it, okay? And it depends on where it's taking you. And so because the thing is that there may be something from that perspective in that gang that you absolutely need to survive. And there may be something in this world offered by some spiritual tradition or a church or a lineage that you absolutely need to go deeper, to learn how to meditate, to get the inspiration on Sunday or whatever it might be, or to have a meditation group. These are really valuable things. And these organizations try to provide them in their own way, right? But again, at the end of the day, it can't end there. At the end of the day, freedom, the ultimate happiness, comes from the ability to lift our energy, to be part of something, be an integral part of something bigger than us. But as long as that thing that we identify with, that is bigger, that's part of our self-identity, as long as that has a limitation, and we're unable to see over our fence line or beyond the border of our own particular preference, then there's still a part of our heart that is held back. There's a part of in other words, so if it becomes a sectarian pride, or pride of national origin, or pride of something that says that my way is the right way and the other way is the wrong way, then because that other way, yoga means union, that other way that's the wrong way with all the millions of people that are involved in it is still a part of who we are. And so the science of yoga is union, and it's to help us, for those who want to move in the direction through meditation, through conscious living and thinking and experimenting with our relationships and the way we connect with others in the world. But our hearts will never be completely happy, will never be completely fulfilled, I believe, until we can sincerely accept and love and appreciate everyone and ourselves, with all of our faults and all of their faults and all of our shortcomings. That's the thing that I think is driving humanity. Who am I to say? But that's my understanding of yoga. I feel kind of weird saying it. But that's it. As long as there's somebody in this world that if they cross my path, that I can't open my heart to them, at least inwardly, to that degree, I will not be happy. And that's it. And so does anyone have anything to say about that, or does that sound creepy, or is that all right? Yeah. Bob, I'm okay? Yeah. Okay. All right. But it's human nature. I mean, don't we all feel that inside, that we want to be able to embrace and we want to be able to love, and then but what if some specter, like something rises up in our awareness that we can't embrace? I don't know. Did anybody run into any of those lately? Never, right? But what do you do? Any thoughts? Or has anybody ever had that? What are we talking about? I'm saying that my understanding, I'm not laying down the law, I'm quoting now, okay? What I'm saying is from my own experience, if there's anybody that I cannot accept, that I cannot love.
Oh, you're talking about people.
Anything, anybody, but yeah, people. Let's say people.
Okay, difficult people.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Are there difficult people?
Oh yeah, there are difficult people.
What's the difference between a difficult person and a person that's not difficult?
Difficult people are aggressive. What's the word? They're mean. They're selfish.
Okay, all right. So, difficult people are mean, aggressive, and selfish.
Self-centered.
Self-centered.
Yeah.
Who isn't difficult?
Oh no, there's degrees.
There's degrees.
Yeah.
And so what if the reality of what I'm experiencing is that I live in a world where there's good guys and bad guys, there's creepy people, there's manipulative people, there's mean people, there's all this horrible stuff happening in this world all the time, right? People littering, whatever it is. Okay. What can I do? What can I do that's going to make it better? If I can't change them, I can vote, I can protest, I can go to war. I'm not against any of that. Yogananda was great. He said you could even kill people. You can do anything you want, but don't hate. There's a time for war. And some people will feel that war is a good thing to do at a certain time, and it may be. But to hate the people that go to war, or to hate the people that don't go to war? To hate the people that want to fight, or to hate the people that don't want to fight? It's the inability to accept other people's realities that hurts us. And so, in meditation, all I'm suggesting is that for each one of us, Bibiana's reality, or my reality, or Gabriella's reality is our own. And I'm not here to define your reality or your battle, okay? I'm not going to tell you how to vote or where to buy your groceries, all right? But for you personally to meditate and kind of get quiet and let those thoughts arise and see which ones take you up to a higher level of peace and understanding, and which ones take you down where you can only see inside of your own property and you can't see the neighbor's yard anymore, right? You don't care about, isn't it? This is like a really weird world we live in where like we buy pieces of land, we mark them out with fences, and we have a piece of paper and we say that it's ours. It's like the biggest joke. I mean, I owned a house back in those days in Torrance and everything, and I was raising my family in the perfect neighborhood and the perfect school, I thought. And I'd watch how, everyone tries to defend their own front yard from the neighbor dogs that pee and poop on your grass. And it's like, it's the most ironic, ludicrous, crazy thing. I'm just saying, I think it's a little crazy, okay? When you die, you don't own anything. And this whole thing, I mean, I love my son. My son's so great. He's grown up now, and he's really doing well. He's happy, he's successful, and he's like, dude, I gotta buy a house. I gotta like leverage myself out. I gotta get it while the economy's going up. I gotta like invest my money. And I'm like, God, I so remember being you, and I'm so glad I'm not you anymore. I don't own anything. I don't want to own anything. I own a 2001 van. I love it. Okay. Darshan, it's hot in here. Sorry. At least it's hot for me. So anyway, all I'm saying, so when we meditate, everything I'm trying to say and do with you guys when I'm guiding the meditation is trying to lead you in a direction where you can experience your own boundaries of happiness and, if you choose to, expand them. So that's why oftentimes, not always, maybe not tonight, but I usually try to end the meditation with some kind of a prayer visualization for the world. Think of the people that you want to pray for, but then I say, but include the others too. because I just feel that this, because it's up to us, it's up to each one of us how we want to live this life. There's a whole bunch of philosophy behind all what I'm trying to say. But at the bottom line, every one of you deserves to have inner peace and freedom. And the only person that takes it away is you. It's not Donald Trump. And it's not Hillary. Okay? It's not. They're not taking your inner peace away. It's us. And we give it to them. We give it to them by reacting to the things that we don't approve of. Of any teaching with karma and reincarnation, they always say, we've all been pirates, we've all been thieves, and the reason we don't do it now is because we learned from the past, from our own actions, okay? Well, I learned some of that in this life, so I get to remember it. I don't have a problem with judging other people. And it's not hard for me to feel compassion for them because I know suffering directly, personally myself. The suffering of being like in my ego and thinking I know it all and being angry and all that kind of stuff. You know, so like, I still have it too. I mean, I'm not free, okay? If I'm in the car at a left turn lane and you're in front of me and I see your window come down while I'm waiting at the light and you take your cigarette butt and you drop it on the street, it takes a lot of self-control for me not to get out of the car and hand it back to you. Because that's what I used to do. That was my way. And so, you know, I go to the beach and I pick up trash. And it used to piss me off that people would just litter the world that we live in, okay? It doesn't piss me off anymore. Because having that consciousness doesn't help anybody, right? It brings my ability to understand down. So rather than lecturing people about littering or about vegetarianism or whatever it might be, you know, I was like an activist kind of a guy. I was the guy that jumped on you when you came out of Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. I did all that, okay? But what I found was I wasn't bringing joy. And then I learned how to meditate and I thought, oh my God. And so that's why I teach meditation. So now I finally have something worthwhile to offer instead of a petition and information about genetically modified organisms and all that stuff. It's all out there and we can all read it and get all excited about it. But at the end of the day, it's really cool if you can put it down and just feel your connection, like what you're saying, with nature. Maybe you can't feel it with all the people. You do not have to. It's not a law. It's up to you. It's your choice. It's a hard thing to do. It's aggressive. It's a big thing to be able to say, I can love everybody. Maybe we can't. That's okay. But feel the love and the beauty in the sky. See the flowers. See the clouds. There are reminders all around us. And also, most importantly, the inspiration inside of you. Whatever it is that drives you to be a good person and to keep getting up every day and just try to be a good guy or a good girl. It's pretty awesome. Human beings, I have not given up on. Human beings are good. People are good. So let's meditate. So we're going to stand up a little bit. Wow. So like too heavy. Okay, so we're just going to breathe a little bit. We're going to sit right back down because we kind of used a lot of our time. So just kind of inhale, like, you know, like move with your breath, you know, just like inhale up and stretch. Exhale around. Your hands are like magnets. Inhale, feel like you're lifting your consciousness up. Even look up. Exhale around. Inhale up again. Exhale around. Inhale up. Fold at the hips if you have a healthy back. Relax your arms. Have a straight spine for a moment. You can use your hands on your legs. Don't hurt yourself. Your body is pretty not warm right now. And if you have a healthy back, relax your back. Relax your neck. Exhale completely. Feel the weight of the inversion bringing your awareness to the front of the brain. And then soften your knees, tuck your chin and come up. Roll your shoulders back. And maybe go like this if that feels good, or put your hands like on your hips or something. Tuck your tailbone and think of where your heart is and just lift your heart a little bit. This is to help energy come up. So lift the heart and then look up. Roll your shoulders back and down. Take a deep breath. And come to neutral. And sit down. And we're going to meditate. So just sit however you like to have a straight spine. Put the palms facing upward on your lap. And let's inhale and tense the body. Throw the breath out and relax. And again, inhale, tense. And relax. One more time. Okay. Try to relax the lower part of your body. Feel tall in your spine, right through the crown of your head. And feel your shoulders relaxed. Feel your chest open. Feel your hands and feet soft. And feel your breath in the nose. And just slowly deepen your breath a little bit. And try to feel the breath as it rises through your nostrils if you can, when you're inhaling. And feel your body relax when you're exhaling. And just for fun, just imagine that when you're inhaling, it does something to raise your awareness. It raises your consciousness upward toward the front of your brain. Like it brings your awareness or the sensation of energy upward through your body into the front of the brain when you inhale. And that you even take the direction of your eyes just slightly upward, not way up in your forehead, but just like you're looking at a mountaintop far away. So that inhalation is drawing your awareness up the spine through the core of your body right into the front of your brain. Then you hold your awareness there as you exhale. And let the exhalation cleanse you of anything that's not sweet, beautiful, and free. Negative thoughts, worries about the past and the future, let them all go with that exhalation. Physical tension from the body, let it go on the exhalation. And then the next time you inhale, mentally count to time it. But bring your awareness upward into the brain. And then when you exhale, keep your awareness centered in the front of the brain, but relax. And feel that exhalation takes you away from thoughts of the past and the future, away from time. And it takes you deeper and deeper into your own true nature as light and joy. Your divine nature that's eternal. And so mentally count to make the inhalation and the exhalation the same length. Keep going with the measured breathing a little bit here on your own. But try to feel that sense of upliftment. See, when yoga, we're raising the arms when we inhale is because we're trying to be in harmony with the natural movements of energy in the body. When you're inhaling, your energy does rise up to the front of the brain. So try to feel it or imagine it or visualize it. Because it can be very helpful to do that before you meditate. That's why you're leaving your body perfectly still and relaxed. There's no need for energy in the lower parts of the body. That's why it's good to have a healthy, balanced, easy sitting position that you can relax in with a straight spine, because we're trying to draw all that energy now into the core and up into the brain. There's no burrito to digest. All the energy goes up into the brain. And then on the next exhalation, just let that counting go. And release control of your breathing. And now practice watching the breath with deep concentration, real focus, wherever you feel it. So it's not watching, you're experiencing the breath wherever you can feel it. If you can feel it in the nose, that's great. And you're not controlling it or judging it in any way. And there's no time. So the rise and fall of the inhalation and exhalation in your own nose or your own brain, wherever you feel it, there's no time. In other words, it's like the inhalation is the sun rising in the daytime, and the exhalation is the moon rising at night. It's this balance between doing and not doing, living and dying, beginning and ending, night and day, and the rise and fall of empires in our world. No time. One breath can be like an eternity, or just a flash, just a speck of time. Go deep into the experience of your breath without controlling it. And ride the waves of duality, of good and bad, happy and sad, good people and bad people. It's all the breath now. And let it all become kind of neutralized. Experience it in a way that's very direct, but it's also impersonal. Because you are not the breath, really. You're not all the activity, and you're not the desire to change it. You're not the one that needs to judge it. Who is watching the breath inside? Who is experiencing your meditation right now? Be with that. Feel your conscience guiding you. As we practice in silence for about, 8 or 10 minutes or so. And remember those directions, upward, toward the heavens, toward the sky, toward the stars, with your energy, with your intention, toward God, however you define it, the universe. And then if you feel to at some point, if you feel uplifted and centered, in your own way, in your own silent practice, try to allow your peace and your joy to expand, to uplift others, or at least to feel love or acceptance toward them. So we'll be in silence for about 10 minutes. Do not control the breath. Now, as we prepare to end our meditation, this is that, so that we talked about that vertical direction and sort of like a horizontal direction of compassion, and the vertical direction of straight upward through the body and into the brain towards spirit, you could say. And so now, if you feel to continue meditating, stay tall, stay alert, eyes closed. And when I think of the harder people to accept, the more challenging ones that we see in the news or whatever in our lives, that come across as, let's say, angry or self-centered or mean, what I see is fear, insecurity, and suffering. I don't see strength, I see weakness. And I do feel compassion for those people because I actually know what it feels like to be like that to some degree, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And I know that they're suffering, and I know that they're not happy. And I know that I can't change them with my words. But I can hold them, or I can let my heart kind of reach out like a light, over the world. Or I can ask nature, the universe, or the divine to bless all souls through me and free myself of the judgment and the negativity and the focus on what's wrong inside of me that holds me down from my own highest potential. And so I invite you to think of yourself as a channel. And if you want to, you can feel that the source of the light that flows through you and all of us comes from some much greater thing or place inside of us that we don't need to name or even understand, but we feel it. And let's focus, if we want to, on all those people who may not be meditating, may not be happy, and may be very competitive, and maybe even mean. But they're people, and they have hearts, and they feel. And for right now, whether you're a man or a woman, be a mother, and see them all as children, children of the light, and we're all learning our lessons at our own pace. Let's wish all souls well on their journey. If you want to, you can chant with me. Chanting with me is like drinking the punch. And so, if you want to, the chanting, what that's all about, is just feel love and compassion in your heart and let the voice carry it outward in all directions.